Hello everybody, Walter here. Welcome to episode 13 of my Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series with the Spears DLC. In the previous episode we finished all of the preparation work for taming our gold volcanoes, and now we are finally at the point where we can get working on that. So let's jump right back into it and let's get started. And here we are. Now before I start on the Volcano Tamer, there is one little adjustment I would like to make over here where we're currently digging out all of this diamond. That is, if you look in the F3 menu, you can see this area is quite hot. And since my base is already a bit too warm for my taste, I would like to avoid getting all of this heat into my base. So for now, I'm just going to add a layer of insulated tiles around this part here. Maybe around like so. Yeah, that should do the trick. I'm also going to need to dig out all of that. And I'm going to add some more ladders so I can reach everything. Yeah, that should do the trick. Now let's just dig out all of that. And we should also now get our first bit of fossil. Yeah, we have some fossils, which if I find my rock crusher, yeah, we can very easily turn into more lime for steel production. So that's very, very useful indeed. And with that, we can finally concentrate on those gold volcanoes here. So as you can see, this gold volcano here is currently dormant, so we can build without having any issues, at least for the next 8 cycles or so. And well, this gold volcano here is active and will erupt in just a couple moments. So we have to worry about this a bit more. But we actually have an achievement, so let's have a look what this is about. Down the hatch. So we have now finally produced 10 tons of refined metals using our smooth hatches, which is quite a lot for just 2 smooth hatches running around in our base. So it took a little while, but with that out of the way, we can now move that over to stone hatches since we don't need them anymore. So let's see. I know I feed one with igneous rock and the other one with sedimentary rock. And I think I'm just going to copy over the settings for the sedimentary rock one. Since I want to spare my igneous rock for insulated tiles. I'm going to need a lot of those soon, and that makes more sense in my opinion. So those are being switched over, so this means I can also switch over the incubator up here. So let me just put this into stone hatchling mode, and this one here can be moved back into the drowning chamber. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is all now being done, so we can finally concentrate truly on those volcano tamers here. So we have already the start of the capsule around this volcano down here. I also need a roof on top with a 3-high ceiling, so let's just put that in for now. I need to go, I think, 2 over, and then I need this one down there, and this one here needs to be kept out. Yeah, that should be all I'm going to need in free space over there. And concerning this gold volcano, I'm going to use not igneous rock but obsidian everywhere where the gold will be in direct contact with, since obsidian won't melt even if it's heated up to the corresponding temperature. So then I can, oops, this was just a bit too far. Then I can just fill in the rest of this here with insulated tiles. I'm also getting one layer below just so that the heat is not transferred outwards too much. The same on this side. And just going up. And then I could go down here. And while I'm here, let's just add a ladder here for now. So I can actually get in there with my tubes. So that should be quite decent. Let's keep that open for now so I don't have to worry about any of that going in here. Now down here I'm going to add one more steel tile there, and then I'm going to add an insulated tile out of ceramic here. Because the debris will land on top of this block and or on top of this tile, and it exchanges heat mostly with that tile, and I want to keep that heat for future cycles to, well, heat up this steam chamber over the dormancy periods of those gold volcanoes here. So similar as I did down here, I'm going with insulated tile blue. And now it's time to get a bit more of the interesting stuff in there. So let's start at the bottom here with just another temp shift plate right in the middle here out of diamond. Then while I'm here, let's go to shipping. I need a conveyor reel. And in those 6 spots here, I need them out of steel, since this will get rather hot with the temp shift plate and the molten gold there. The rest can be normal iron ore. So I'm going to start in this corner up there. Then let's actually go through here. Yeah, why not? Then I need to go back and then over here. Yeah, that works quite nicely. Then I have a wall. Then I go in a zigzag like this here. And that's where I have my conveyor shut off. Just like that. And then the output goes, let's say, for now, just to the side. We'll have to do something about this later on, but that should be enough. Then I need the conveyor loader out of steel down here, since this will get rather hot. Then again out of steel and auto sweeper in this spot here, so it can actually reach all of the involved parts down here, especially this part here and down here. Now for the cooling of the entire system, I need an aqua toner, again out of steel. Flip it over, place that there, and then liquid thermosensor. I'm going with iron in this case, that should be enough. I also need some automation wire. Let's go for iron in here, just so to make sure that it won't accidentally melt. I'm also going to need some up here with a timer sensor. Then for power, I'm going to need a smart battery in this spot, which will be connected with everything via a gold wire. Down here, I'm again going to use iron. Let's just go straight up and over. That should do the trick. And I have my steam turbine up here, which should work. Yeah, that works out perfectly. While I'm here, let's actually place one spot here so I don't get the ugly messages. That should do the trick. Now for plumbing, I need liquid vents out of iron ore in those spots. Then I have insulated pipes going up. Then I have 2 radiant pipes. Then one up here, one there, and this should end up right in the correct spot for the steam turbine. Yeah, that works quite nicely. Now I need the piping for my cooling loop. So 2 bridges, and then the input, and here the output. And now let's have a look. How do I want to go about this? I need to... Yeah, that looks quite nicely. Like so, and then just straight down. Yeah, that should do the trick. Or let's actually go first over, then up, and then here we complete the loop like so. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Could even go just a tiny step further with some more radiant pipes. That should work quite nicely. Okay, so that's the cooling loop more or less done. I also need to get a bit of the wall going. So I need one there, and then a metal tile, which can actually be gold in this case, placed here. And here I'm going to put a spot of liquid naphtha, since this area here needs to be filled with hydrogen again, and I need a liquid lock here. And with the liquid lock now in place, it's time to start filling this here with hydrogen. Fortunately enough, I already built the pipe coming from our electrolyzer setup at the top, so I just need to extend this a bit and add a gas vent here. Similarly, I already built a pipe coming from the top with clean water, and with a simple pipe bridge I can now start filling up this cooling system here. So with that out of the way, we can now start filling in the steam turbine right here. And once that is in there, I can close this up here. So let's just make sure the steam turbine is built first. And then I can already plan putting in a liquid valve right at the corner there. And this chamber is now done, but in the intermediate time, something unfortunate happened, because as you can see here, we have molten steel. And if you look in the conveyor overlay, you can see this steel here actually melted, which is a bit unfortunate, and the reason I would prefer this one here to still be dormant, but well, we'll have to live with that in either case. So let's quickly finish this up. So the first thing I need to do is mob this here up. Then for the settings, I need this one here to be set to 1 kilogram per second. I also need to set the cooling loop for above, let's say 25 degrees. So that should do the trick. And once this one here is built and this one here is built, let's just go higher with the priority. I can remove the ladder and then start closing this area here up. And I can also start building the next few parts up here. And this one here I'm just moving out of the way right now. And we might have a little bit of a problem. The volcano here is short of erupting and I haven't put in any water yet. So I very quickly fix this metal tile here so this here gets closed up, and then I'm also going to very quickly add just a liquid bridge up here so I get some water in here. But first this one here needs to be built ASAP, and that was a bit of a close call. We are roughly 20 seconds before this one here erupts, and we are finally getting some water in here to cool everything down and also start producing some power. Very, very nice indeed. With that now done, we can start working on the last few pieces, which is the rest of the metal tiles here, and then just closing this area here from the next step. And once I have maybe 50 or so kilograms of steam in here, I'm of course going to remove that bridge over there again. And now the last step is finally finishing this up. So I'm just going to add in the floor here and then the ceiling up here. Once those are in place, all I need to do is remove the ladder and close up this last tile there. And we are finally done with the gold tamer. The last part is actually setting the timer sensor here. The way to do this is pretty simple. I need to add in the average output of those two volcanoes here, divided by 20 kilograms, and then invert that number. And this gives me a number around 31 seconds. So I need a green duration of 0.9 of that, and the rest, which are in this case 30.4 roughly seconds, will be the red duration. That way I get a packet of 20 kilograms, which is one package on a conveyor reel every 31 seconds roughly. So that way, once this thing here is running properly, and obviously I need to set this to get everything out of this, and once this is running, this system here is fire and forget. I don't need to do anything. Of course, I still need to give it an actual output, but before that, I'll need to deal with the rest of the heat in here. And the simplest way likely is just adding a steam turbine at the top here. So I'll likely place it, yeah, let's place it here so I can have direct access to the bottom there. This is quite hot, so I'll need to replace at least these here with insulated tiles. So let's make sure those are built before the rest. I also need to dig out this area, and the obsidian here can also be dug out. Then I'm going to need a liquid vent here. This needs to be connected to the output of the steam turbine. The water will come from the right there. All I need to add later on is a bridge there, and then I can start filling this in. I also need to make sure that the heat from here doesn't get out. So at the bottom, I'm just going to add one insulated tile here. Of course, my dupes need to be able to reach it. So that should do the trick here. And once this part here is done, I'm also going to add an insulated tile here. So I'm not putting any heat through this part here. And with the last part of insulation in place, I can now start filling in this with water via a bridge. And here comes the first bit of water, which is immediately turned into steam once it hits all of this obsidian here, which is rather hot. Although, as you can see, it's starting to cool down quite fast already. Also, I totally forgot to add a conductifier here to the steam turbine so it actually starts working. So this needs to be built soon. Come on, someone come around and build this. And then we should see the steam turbine in action. Yeah, now it's running and producing lots and lots of cooling. And I think this is already enough water, so let's just snip it up. Or maybe let's snip this up a bit higher. Come on. Let's actually snip this up here at the top where I'm getting the water from. And then I can just remove the pipe without having to worry about any kind of water going all over the place. But with that now done, well, let's first have a look at the printable while I'm here. Some spicy tofu that might become useful later on. Let's just make sure that is actually moved over into our refrigerator setup. And not like the last time where I just forgot it and it rotted rather quickly away. But as I said, now next step is working over in this area here. So I want to build my hydra around this anti-entropy thermonullifier. And I did already some pre-planning, and it turns out I need more space. I actually need my ladders on this side here, just out of where I'm currently at, and then I'm going to add a fire pole to the side. And I need to go down at least to here. So let's very quickly start digging out this area here, and up I need to go at least to, well, let's go to the very top. Back here at the gold volcano, I noticed a bit of an issue. Yeah, the conveyor melted again. So I'll need to get in there and replace that, and to avoid that issue in the future, I'm just going to add temp shift plates to either side. Shouldn't be really necessary. I suspect this melted while this was still water in here and not steam, which reduced the amount of heat it could take out before it was put into the rails. So, but I still need to get in there, so for that I'm going to need a liquid lock. And the best way to get in there is from this side here. Then I need to get with a ladder up there. And then just going over here. That should work. And since this is rather hot and I don't want my tubes to get scalded, I'm going to add a atmosuit checkpoint right at the top here. And repairs are completed. Now all I need to do is close this up. And while I'm here, I might actually also start working on getting the output of this one here working. So as you can see at the moment, it's running nowhere. And I'm just going to put a conveyor chute right here. And that way this system here actually has a functional output. And here you can see now how the system here is supposed to work. Every 31 seconds in this case, we are outputting one packet of material. And those materials are being cooled down in 3 stages. We have first our steam chamber here, which cools it down to, well, around 125 to 150 degrees. Then we have the output of our steam turbine, which cools down these metal tiles here, which then cools down the parts on the conveyor rail down to around 100 degrees or so. And then the last stage is inside of this chamber with the steam turbine, where it's then cooled down to whatever temperature I input here, in this case 25 degrees roundabout. And that way I can cool this down without any issue and get nice, cool and sustainable refined metals out of this. This design here is a slight modified version of a design by Tony Advanced. I really like and use for pretty much all of the volcanoes I usually deal with the exception of tungstens and niobium, which are a bit too hot to work in this concept here. And over at our AETN, we have now dug out all we are going to need, and we also restarted our research. So let's have a look. We have radiation protection, and there is not overly much missing on this layer, so let's just continue as we did. By the way, I also decided to remove already the tiles right below the AETN here. And now I need to start building the Hydra or my electrolyzer setup. And for that I need to go down to this layer here. And then with insulated tiles I go from right here all the way over there until I get the last 5 that are normal tiles. Yeah, that should do the trick. Then I can start with a bit of a wall here and a bit of a wall there. I also need an airflow tile right here. Then from gases, I need a gas vent here. Then a gas valve out of gold amalgam gets put right here. Then I'm going to add a total of 2 of those bridges. Then insulated pipes here. Then let's go closer so you see what's going on. And now I need to connect them as shown here. I also need to put in a bit of a liquid in here, and I like to go with crude oil, since that is likely the best option here. And yeah, once that is in there, I can start working on the rest of this corner here. Now let's quickly set the gas valve to 0.1 grams per second. High priority, of course, so it's being done. This, as you might notice, is again a way to get an infinite gas pressure, since this Hydra will also double up as my infinite storage for hydrogen and oxygen. So, now with that done, let's continue on. I need to go a bit further up, just like so. Then I'm going to need airflow tiles. I start right on top of this one here, and I go just up. Then I'm going to need some normal tiles. 2 here, then a gap, 2 here, gap, like so. Then I need mechanized airlocks. This time I can go with just, well, let's go with, why not? Let's use some copper again. 1 here, 1 flipped over there. Then I am also going to have to get rid of these ladders here. And I can then place some more airflow tiles right here. Now I can put in my electrolyzers out of gold amalgam, at least the first 3. They, for obvious reasons, need a liquid pipe input. So let's just put that in and then straight down. When I'm here, I can actually plan out the next 2 layers. This is 1 and this is the 3rd layer. They will also need power, so I'm just going to straight up power them like so, and then down this here and another one there. They also will need some automation. So I'm going with switches, and they will be placed diagonally like so. And then the next one will go, let's see, here. I have to do something there in a moment. But I'm here, I'm also putting one down there, another one there. Then for the connections, those need to be connected like so, and these as shown here. So that's the automation done over here. Power is done, and now I need to get certain liquids in here. So let me quickly grab a couple mesh tiles, and I'm going to place them on top of here. One here, another one here, last one there. And on top of them, I'm going to place again pedestals. I could do this also with the bottle emptier, but I don't need much liquid, so those work just as well. Then I need to clean this up, and once I have these built, I'm going to put in first a kilogram of salt water and then a kilogram of normal water. And the first layer is pretty much done now. As you can see, I now have a layer of salt water and above that a layer of water, which makes this a partially submerged electrolyzer, which can produce infinite pressure again. Now I just need to top this off with an airflow tile, and the other one is a normal tile there. And next step is just building 2 more of those layers here, and we also have finished our research for the beacon shower. So we can now go for advanced caffeination. And yeah, as I said, next step is just building 2 more layers of those electrolyzers. And the electrolyzers are now all in place, which means we can work on the next layer. So here I'm first going to add a few more tiles all the way until we reach that point and that point here. In here I'm basically building the same as down here. So I'll need a pedestal. I'm also going to have to get rid of this here, and then I'm going to need gases, a gas vent here, and then the valve on top once this here is removed, and for obvious reasons then again the gas bridges. I can already start building the required pipes while I'm here, and then I can connect this to the pipe down there. So now we need to also set this again to 0.1 grams. Research has been finished, so let's just get rid of that for now. Then down here we are finished, so the last parts are at the middle here and at the very top later on here. So let's research and that. I'm also going to have to sweep that out. And we can now start working on enclosing this entire thing here. So well, before that, actually, let's put in the pumps. So I need gas pumps out of gold amalgam. And I need to start one part out from the wall. And then just a simple 4x4 essentially of those. I will have to fit them in once I've built everything. Then I can get rid of the ladders and place the last ones. But I can still start with the pumping, with the pipes. So just putting 2 together as a single team, then going up with those here, same down there, then over here I'm going just straight over like so. Then with radiant gas pipes I am going further up, for now let's say 5 out of 6. Not too much of an issue right now. We'll figure that out in a moment. Yeah, that should be enough. Then we need power. And I'm always putting 8 pipes together. So those 2 groups and those 2 groups. I also need some automation, an atmo sensor in this corner here to be more precise. And that one needs to be connected again to all of these here. And once those are built, I can start fitting in the rest of this side wall. And on this side here, I want to have metal tiles actually to transport the heat a bit better. But first I need to build all of this, and then I can run my metal tiles all the way to the top, and then that layer I can actually already start placing. And I just remembered a few things I forgot. First of all, I also need to get this wire from down here all the way to the top. I also need to get the power from the bottom there up. And while I'm here, I also need one more gas pipe from the very bottom here. So this will go for now just from down there all the way to the top here. And then from here on, let's actually put in a gas bridge just to be on the safe side. And then we have our radiant pipes again. So now let's have a quick look what we can print out. So let's see, yeah, some more copper, why not? And that's already looking much better. And we just got another achievement, so let's have a look which one that was. And we have finally the super sustainable achievement. The last of the missable achievements with producing a lot of power without using any kind of fuel. So that is super. So if we are running out of power, we can from now on use things like, for example, the coal generator to get over that. But at the moment we don't really need to do anything. We are still getting a good amount of power from this hydrogen generator here, and we are also getting a good amount of power still from this steam turbine, which is essentially extracting all of the power from the heat that is still stored in this chamber here. But as you can see, it's already getting a bit colder in there. So, but anyway, let's continue on with this area here, and I just had a thought. I'm actually adding one more gas bridge there, and then I'm connecting this with that one at the top there, and I'm snipping it off right here, because I will also get some of the hydrogen from over here, and that way I can have this as a bit of a junction. And we're once more done with the research, so let's grab next the creature comforts. Why not? And yeah, that's working quite good already, so we are already working our way over, and quite soon I can start replacing those ladders here with some pumps. Now with those in place, let's just close this up. Then at the top I need, first I need radiant pipes going along like so, and then up here, and down here. And once those are in place, I can put in another layer of those here with those here to the side. Let's just make sure those here are built first. And once I have this laid out, I'm going to put in a ton of water per tile inside here as a water reservoir or as a cooling reservoir via this pipe here I already prepared somewhat, which is essentially just siphoning some water from the cooling loop here, which is getting replaced directly from this reservoir down there. So that should do the trick. And once more we are done with the research. So creature comforts are done. Last part in this tier is bioengineering. While waiting until this has been filled up, I can still continue on with some more temperature plates out of granite in here, so the water exchanges the heat a bit more efficiently with those metal tiles. And I also forgot one more part of this loop here, so that should also be fitted in. And I think I actually went a bit too high here. Yeah, I think I actually went a bit too high at this point here. I need to remove this part again. On this side here, I can already start filling in, well, maybe not yet. Let's wait until those parts are built, but I can still continue with the insulated tiles here on the side and actually at the top too. And the water is in place. So next up we can, well, before I forget it, put in the wire. Again, just going up. Then we can put in the next layer of those metal tiles here. And yeah, once that is in, I just need to add one more on top. And then I can work on my large power transformers that I want to place in this area at the top. This one here goes this way, and the other ones, 4 in total, get rotated around. Yeah, that looks quite good already. And then they need obviously some heavy watt wire. So all the way over here. Let's get the conductive wire. This one goes up there, this one goes up there, this one goes up there. And then this one here will go a bit later towards the right. Then obviously the top can be filled in. And we just finished with our research again. So we are now done with this tier. The next tier requires data banks. And I have around 66 at the moment. So I can do 2 of the next tier. And the one I'm going for will be the solid management. And after that, I think I'm going for the radiation refinement because I want the rod bolt joint plate. With all of this now in place, let's go to the bottom. Here I'm also going to need a few more pumps through here. And then an atmo sensor right next to that and connected with automation wire. Of course, it also needs some power. I'm just going to use this wire here. I am also going to need in gases the gas shutoff. One here, another one there. Then the gas pipe element sensor, like so. Now for pipes, let's connect those here. And then let's see, I need to go over here and another one right there, I suspect. Then let's go and make this a little loop. That should work quite nicely. Yeah, that should work. Then this one here will be connected to this line at the top there. And I also need an override in this direction here, so that I first feed it into my various hydrogen generators before I output it via this pipe at the top there. I obviously need some more automation, so this one here will be for the hydrogen, and this one here will be for the not hydrogen. So I need a not gate in there. So yep, that's the correct way around. Then let's set this to hydrogen. Is it there? And copy this over. Also, let's have a look. There is no carbon dioxide in here, so I can close this and also this one here. And while I'm here, let's actually turn all of these off. So that should work quite nicely. Of course, these here also need some more power. So that should be that. While I'm here, I can also fit in one more of these large power transformers here. This will be needed for later at the bottom. And the last part for today, I'll add in a few more pipes. The first is going from the output of this shutoff all the way to the top. Then over with a bridge here, and then out at the top where I switch to an insulated gas pipe, and then for now I just go up with a pressurized gas vent. While I'm here, I'm also going to add the actual outputs of those pipes here. Just connect it down here. And yeah, that should be pretty much all I'm going to do for today. Next episode, obviously, I'm going to add in the electrolyzer setup here and a bit more of a gas storage on the side, but this is pretty much all for today. Except I just noticed a little issue with my electrolyzer. Yeah, it's out of power, and since it's completely self-powered, that's a bit of an issue. So let me very quickly put in a lifeline here and restart all of this here. And all it needed was just a tiny injection of power, and now it's running stable again. Already cut off the lifeline since I was obviously going in overload, but we are now once more working with a running SPOM in our base. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode, in which we finally got around to actually taming our two gold volcanoes here, even if we ran into a bit of a melting issue with our conveyor rails at the end there. Also, quite nicely, we already got around to start with the first third roundabout of our electrolyzer setup for the future. The more fiddly parts are done. All that's missing is now setting in the corresponding hydrogen generators and storage for some more gases. And with that, all that's left for me to say is that I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, share, and comment if you did so. And, well, with that said, I wish you all a nice day, and, well, see ya.